Welcome to Daxue Talks, a show powered by Daxue Consulting, a China-based strategic market research company founded in 2010.
My name is Igor Temirov. I'm an expert in developing foreign markets, and for the last 5 years, I'm in China, helping several companies to enter Chinese market.
How is distribution different in Hangzhou compared to Shanghai?
Good question. From one side, there are a lot of similarities in this market because both Hangzhou and Shanghai has a very high purchasing power population. So it is also city with 9 million citizens compared to 25 in Shanghai. But on the other side, so the number of retail chains, retail outlets, major shopping centers, definitely smaller. So for example, if you look at the big FMCG and grocery chains like Carrefour, like Dar & Far, like Auchan, so there's only one Carrefour in Hangzhou, and we know that in Shanghai, Carrefour is one of the leading chains. So practically most of the Western companies first established in Shanghai, so it has the highest concentration of retail and modern shopping centers. There are practically only 3-4 modern shopping centers in Hangzhou. But on the other side, so for the companies who are entering the Chinese market, so it will be very difficult to establish themselves in Shanghai. So because you need to have a little bit muscles, so you need to have more well-known brand, etc. And prices in Shanghai would be higher for office, so it could be 3 to 5 times higher. So salary of your people will be also higher, but if you look at the quality of people, they're pretty much the same sales managers with the same experience, but they will cost you less.
What are the most dynamic industries in Hangzhou? Can you please support each industry with a company example?
Basically, Hangzhou is the internet capital of China. The most prominent business here, which is driving the local economy, is online. This is headquarters of Alibaba, Tmall, and also headquarters of some other online platforms. 5 years ago, when I came to China, there were basically two main platforms, Tmall and Jingdong, and you have to choose between them, where Jingdong was in Beijing, so Tmall was in Hangzhou. But at that time, so I said that there will be a lot of there will be a growth of small and the new innovative companies with the new ideas, and this has actually happened. So it is happening like in the Silicon Valley, so where a lot of guys who are underpinned in their organization, they go out and they form new ideas. And Hangzhou now is the capital and the home city for many major apps and other platforms.
What is your observation of the purchasing power of the people in Hangzhou compared to Shanghai?
I think we should be talking not about just people, but we have specific products that we are targeting for specific audiences. And I was working mostly with the mass product and the upper medium priced product. And of course, the purchasing power population in Shanghai is higher, but at the same time, so the consumer, there is another factor, which is consumer activity. And the consumer activity, when people have so many choices in Shanghai, their activity is not so high. So you need to do much more to impress them in Shanghai, where you will be shocked. So that one of the highest sales that we experienced in China, there was in Chengdu. Chengdu, which is also high concentration of people with the purchasing power, but less choices than much more willing to try, experiment, and experience Western product, where in Shanghai it happened like 20, 30 years ago.
What are the benefits of setting up a company in Hangzhou over Shanghai?
When you are deciding on the entry city, so-called, in the country where you're selecting, I'm normally doing the analysis of 42 factors. And I put all the factors, and they're pretty much the same for any country. So I was recently doing this exercise for United States or for India. So yeah, you have to go through all this economy, logistics, purchasing power, cultural, traditional. But there is also one interesting dimension, which is a trend-setting city. So for example, because when consumers will learn about your product, so they need to, but where this product is from, so they will look at where the registration of your company, and it is, and Hangzhou is one of those trend-setting cities in China. The second factor was the concentration of population. So because if you go to Shanghai, you have from one side sea, there's no people, okay? So, and I was trying to find the city which will be deeper into the country, and when you draw the circle around Hangzhou, so you will have in 300 kilometers population base of 340 million people, okay? So it is much more population base. You need also to look for the city with a good size where you could experiment, where they have major retail chains, and this is all the factor in Hangzhou. So, and last year, PricewaterhouseCoopers did a study on 26 cities in China for entering Chinese market. And Hangzhou was the winner out of, I would say, 20 or 30 factors that they analyzed. You also have to look in the logistics, in the for us warehouses and proximity to major cities make significant effect. But for example, we went to other cities, even to Chengdu or to other places. And also research in Shanghai, the prices for the warehousing, for the warehouse servicing, especially if you're working with online, much higher. Because Hangzhou is based on this kind of online industries. There are multiple choices of affordable warehouses with the good systems, good experienced people, and this makes it attractive.
What are some of the most impressive characteristics of Hangzhou?
There is a business level and there is a people's level. On the human people's level, or just living in Hangzhou, it is one of the most incredible cities if you're doing sports. I don't know any other city in the world, and I'm comparing with San Francisco, with Switzerland, with Barcelona, where you can just take your bicycle, and I'm doing 30, 50, 70 kilometers just along the river with no traffic, absolutely. So it is great for sports. Second most prominent, it is a beauty city because it has Western Lake, it has mountains. I don't know many cities in the world of this size where in the center of the city you have the famous tea, Longjing tea. But on the business level, is again, I think one of the main drivers in China, it is definitely online business. And 5 years ago, when I was selecting Hangzhou, I was thinking that when you're beginning, you don't have big budgets. You need to catch the trends, the leading trends. And the leading trend is definitely online. And you will grow with the growth, with the all dynamics of online business. You will have expertise, you will have people. So this makes it very special.
Any questions? We will find an expert to answer them. Drop your questions in the comments or send us an email, dx@daxueconsulting.com.